think, firstly, congrats to my opponent for putting on a great performance. I was very hungry this fight, and I was motivated, and I really wanted to win. Going into this fight, we had a great game plan. I feel like I didn't execute the plan that my coach put in place. There was mistakes and there were a few things that we worked on in camp, which I wasn't able to do. And I feel when you have a fighter that's hungry and has the will to win, like Denny Whyte, it was quite hard for me to, execute that plan. And so I take, full responsibility for not executing the plan. I just need to work on a few things once I get back and, just get better and better.
Joe, do you think you'd have won if there was one more round?
Listen, anything could have happened, but I was given 12 rounds to do what I had to do. Obviously, it didn't work out. There's no complaints here. We just have to take it on the chin, and then hopefully come back and fight here again sometime.
What was it like to take that punch that knocked you down?
Oh, well, the punch that you don't see is the punch that gets you, so it was a surprise. But, our team showed heart to get back up and to fight on. And I think we put on a more exciting fight than the last fight. So we're happy with making it more exciting. But just the plan that Kev had in place, if I executed it a lot better, it would have been a different fight.
So how does Dillian compare to Anthony Joshua?
Pardon?
How does Dillian compare to Anthony Joshua?
It's different styles. I feel like, Dillian was a fighter who came forward and very, I wouldn't say dirty, but he roughed me up. And he did everything he could to get the victory. So, he showed true heart.
Is he on the same level?
Joshua fought a different fight. He fought a fight with keeping me at bay with his jab and sort of distance, whereas Danny Whyte came in and looked for those big shots, which he was able to land.
That first knockdown, Joe, it looked like a replay for it was a headbutt of some sort, accident or otherwise. Was there any punch involved in that knockdown, or was it purely his head?
I think from the advice I was given from the team, it was a headbutt, the first knockdown, and then the second one was a
Did
lift.
that shake you up a bit, the first knockdown?
Just surprised me, but then got back up and carried on.
Joe, what's your kind of feeling about that? Because obviously you got scored 10-8 and Whyte, and without that, it looks like a draw on the scorecard.
I think it's a round we were winning. I think it was a 10-9 round, and it went from being a 10-9 round to us to a 10-8 round to Dillian. And when you talk about that headbutt, I actually think that the effects of that headbutt were suffered in rounds 3 and 4. Joe just wasn't himself. And it wasn't until the 5th round, I believe, he actually had everything going again. He was actually a little dazed from that and shocked when he came back to the corner.
What I mean is there any kind of bitterness on your part then about the results? Obviously you've lost the verdict, and if that round gets scored, if it goes as a headbutt and doesn't get scored as a knockdown.
No, there's no bitter feelings from our team. We did, like I said, we did our best. I did my best. Didn't follow the game plan, but it's live to fight another day. He won on today, and congrats to him.
What background from your perspective where you were watching the fight?
Look, firstly, let me say I'm really proud of Joe. I thought he fought a very courageous, a very gallant fight. He dug deep. We had a short camp. It was good camp, but a short camp. And there were a couple of things that he could have done better on the day, but we knew that Dillian was a real physical guy. And I expected him to bring out the best in Joe and make Joe fight, and I think that's the sort of fight we all saw tonight. But I'm very proud of him, and the way that he dug down deep in the later rounds and came back and was an inch away from winning the fight. It was a great fight for the fans. It's a sort of fight that, dare I say it as a trainer, but it's a fight that we need. We needed a real war like that. This is Joe's. The Takum fight was a hard fight, but this was a war tonight, and we were fighting a guy who was very, very hungry, and a guy who, he knew that he was gambling everything in this fight against Joe, and he sucked up some really big punches. His boxing skills actually surprised me a little bit. Like Dillian's I'll admit it. He's a better fighter than I thought he was.
What are you considering your future in boxing?
Well,
Where do you go from here? Because you fought a few times in London,
and while everyone is booing you and comes to the ring, you've got a hell of a lot of support here. People like you, they can see you carry yourself well. And, you know, when
Well, look, the funny thing is that finding the right comeback opportunity won't be hard. In fact, you know, because I've soaked up, I've seen the event tonight, I've soaked up the response from the public. I'm sitting sandwiched between Barry Hearn and Eddie Hearn, so I've been privy to their views on things which I won't share now, but I'm very confident that there'll be a range of great comeback options for Joseph Parker if he wants to come back. And I believe, I've heard nothing to suggest he doesn't. He's a human being, it's his body, so I'm not going to bother him with that stuff. He can go home, meet a newborn baby daughter, relax, have a rest, then we take stock, we analyse the options. But the good news, there are a range, I can guarantee you there's a range of solid comeback options on the table. You know, what I take over tonight, Joseph's not one to really talk about stuff like this, so I didn't really find out the dressing room, but he said that the head that caught behind the ear shook the balance and equilibrium. Because for me, because I've watched all the fights, looking at the eyes, something didn't seem quite right. So, and there's no excuses. Dillian absolutely came in as a bully and was tough, and for Joe to hang in there through those middle rounds and then nearly win it at the end. So for me, it's frustrating because we're nearly there. You know, had there been another minute, we might be celebrating victory. But
20
that's boxing.
seconds.
It's a bittersweet and brutal sport, and we've been on the receiving end. We drew some serendipity and luck. So what do? I guess we take stock. He heals his body, clears his head, and we then look at. I'll probably call Eddie to begin, and we look at the options. But so I'm not concerned about the immediate future. There'll be good opportunities. It's really about like when, and we've had a very busy 3 or 4 months. So
what was your question, mate?
Joseph, is giving up boxing something you would consider?
No, I've had a goal. You know, I still stand by my goals that I have. It'll be great to be, 2-time world champion or unified champion. So I've already, 30, 31, I'm out. But for now, I'm going to go hard and give it everything I have.
You talk about the fact that you were disappointed you didn't execute the game plan tonight. Is there a reason why that didn't happen?
When I try my best to execute the plan, but sometimes when you're in the ring with a solid opponent, he can cause a few things to stop you from trying to execute that plan. And I believe the plan that we did have in place when, a few things where I could have moved better, that we practiced a lot in camp and, kept my distance a bit better, it would have been different. But it's hard when you have someone coming forward, putting on a lot of pressure and wanting to bash you.